I made a $100,000 mistake. Well, actually, $154,215 to be exact, but who's counting? Let's talk about what happened, why you should care, what you can learn from me, and how this impacts you. Here's what happened. I set out to do two big things simultaneously. One, get a CEO job at a world-famous company because I feel like these businesses need me. Seriously. And two, make a movie detailing the entire process. The good, the bad, and the unfortunate ugly. First, getting the CEO job. Most established businesses in the world right now are destined for failure. They simply don't see what's coming. Business has flipped in the last 100 years. It used to be the case that building a thing, like the thing that you actually sell, that was the hard part of business. If you could build a thing and it was good, you had your customers' attention. You would make money. However, over time, building the thing that you sell has become the easy part. Getting the attention of your customers has become the hard part. And this is only accelerating. Most companies aren't catching on this for some reason, and they're dead in the water. The ones that get it are obvious. These are like any of Elon's companies. And then other smaller brands that you see on social media and stuff like Duolingo, Scrub Daddy, they get it. They capture your attention and they have a good product. It's that simple. So the plan was become CEO of one of these world famous companies using the principles of attention, and then take those same principles, they don't change, take those same principles to boost the company that I'm now CEO of. I'd be solving an obvious problem. And then there's the second part of this, the movie. The movie would be something that's never been done before. It would be a blend of the best of the digital content and the traditional content worlds. This is needed. Digital content has wonderful pacing. It keeps your attention, but the story generally sucks. That's why, you watch a YouTube video, it feels empty and soulless. Maybe you'll passively look at your phone and let some YouTuber scream at you for 10 minutes, but afterwards you feel nothing. Nothing has changed. You probably don't even remember what you watched afterwards. And then you have traditional content like movies and TV, which has awesome storytelling, but the pacing generally sucks. And because the pacing sucks, what do people do? Their hand just gravitates towards their phone. And then it's game over. You're just sitting there swiping TikTok. This thing is on the TV. You're missing the entire story because it's failing to properly grab you. If a movie does grab you, though, in the rare occasions, it makes a real impression on your life. You'll remember that movie 10 years from now. So there's an obvious gap here. Once I realized there was a gap, I saw it everywhere. And I got more and more frustrated that no one was solving this obvious problem. Just take the best parts from the new content world and the traditional content world, and boom, you're literally making the best content possible. So I decided to do it myself. I would solve both of these things and do it while documenting a real life goal. That means the story stakes are completely real and the outcome is unscripted. And this is why I failed. I was taking on two massive things that have never been done before. I was naive. I expected to be able to do this with a budget of $30,000 and 3 months of work. I failed because it took close to a year to pull this thing off and $154,213. But who's counting? I'll explain whether this was worth it and how this possibly took a year to pull off in just a second. Because first, why should you care? You shouldn't. You should not care at all. If I fail, it has a 0% impact on your entire life. But you can learn from me. If I can pull this thing off, it's undeniable proof that with enough effort, anything is possible. You can grow up in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota, get rich, live the American dream, and then challenge the world's largest companies and make a movie that's never been done before, all without getting permission from anyone. This is the world we live in. If you're a fan of this movie, you're a fan of yourself, because it's undeniable proof that you can do anything, no matter your background. I truly believe that to my core. That's why I set out to become CEO in 14 days. And you're probably thinking 14 days? You just said this took almost a year to pull off. It did. It took many months of planning to put every single detail in place and think through every possible scenario to ensure the highest odds of pulling this thing off in 14 days. And then, of course, we need many months of post-production and editing in order to fulfill my promise of making a YouTube movie that no one has ever made before. That's going to take time. There's no blueprint for anything like that. You can't copy someone else's style. It hasn't been done, but it's something that was deeply needed. And I can confidently say it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to make. There's nothing like it, yet it feels familiar. And let me give you a little secret. Just like a good movie, it's meant to be watched twice. Only then are you going to pick up on all the hints and Easter eggs that I layered in along the way. So what's next? Go watch the movie and see if I pulled this thing off. It's live.